Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So our business that we represent is Delicious Cookies, which is established by Arzalina Mazawati. So this business is a seasonal business, which is the founder or the establisher has found that there's lack of supplier that supply this type of cookies, which is the name of this cookies is Biscuit White. So she came up with her own recipe, with her own ingredients, with the custom ingredients to fulfill the taste that the customer wants. So in addition, this business has no their own outlet, but it's just operate in her in the founder house, so they can cut their budget by fulfilling the profit that they want. So for this company, all the work is directly done by the owner itself, which is Madam Azalina Mazawati. So this conclude for her to buy the raw materials, to do the baking and others until the product complete. But sometimes, especially for the weeks that peaks with a lot of orders of a high volume of orders, she will bring one additional worker, just a temporary, to help her or to assist to fulfill the order of the product. So for this company, since all work directly translate into the cookies production, so the firm has no indirect material cost.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today I will explain about manufacturing overhead in simple terms. So first of all, item that cannot be traced to the product. One example is electricity used for the oven. We need electricity to bake cookies, but we can't measure how much electricity is used for one cookies or one batch. Because we cannot trace the cost directly to the product, it is called under indirect cost. So electricity is a part of manufacturing overhead because it supports production, but we can't link it directly to each cookies. Second, item that can be traced but are too small. A good example is the baking paper. We use it every batch, and it helps the cookies to stick to the tray. But the amount of per cookie is very small. If we calculate the cost per cookies, it would take too much time and it is not worth it. So this is called indirect material. It also part of manufacturing overhead. And third, assume and allocate overhead items. So some overhead costs must be assumed, like depreciation of equipment. For example, the oven we use may cost RM 1200 and it lasts for 5 years. That means RM 240 per year or RM 20 per month should be counted as an overhead cost. Even we spend money right now, the oven is getting old and losing the value. Same goes to the cookie mold that costs RM 64 and lasts for 3 years. So the monthly depreciation is RM 1 ringgit 78. So both oven and mold depreciation are part of fixed overhead costs. So in the conclusions, manufacturing overhead include indirect costs that we can't trace, like electricity, small item that we can trace but not worth tracking, like baking paper, and the third one is assumed costs like depreciations. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello, now I'll be explaining about production. Production is about the process of turning the products into a business. So first step is mixing. Mixing is by putting all the ingredients all together in a bowl, like putting margarine, sugar and salt, and we mix them and fold it in sifted flour until it's soft like dough forms. And the second one is shaping. After it turns into a soft dough, then we press the dough and turn it into shape Y and we place it on the tray lined with parchment paper. And the third step is baking. After we shape the flour into Y shape, then we bake it at 160 Celsius for about 20 minutes until the bottom of the biscuits turn into the golden color. After we bake, we put it out on the oven and then we cool it down first for about 5 minutes on the tray, and then we fully put it on wire rack. And the last step is packaging. Packaging is by layering it into a container with baking paper and seal them tightly, and that's the end. We can sold it the biscuits can be sold. Thank you.
Calculating cost calculation, for direct material cost, we started by calculating the cost of ingredient. We use 8 kg of flour costing Rm 2.9 per kilogram. Then we use 2 kg of margarine at 2.95 per kilogram. Finally, we use 6 kg of sugar, which costs Rm 13.9 per kilogram. So the total, making the total of direct material cost is Rm 112.5. For the next, as you guys can see at the slide, the direct labor cost, one container costs 5 ringgit in labor, and the worker only handled 20% of 45 container, which mean he only produced 9 container, and making the total direct labor cost is 45 ringgit. Next, we look at manufacturing overhead. For manufacturing overhead, the oven costs 20 per month, and the cookie mold costs Rm 1.78. The oven we use is estimated to last 1 year. Instead of including the full price of oven in just 1 month, we spread the cost equally over 12 months. This helps us record the cost more fairly. Okay, so together the total manufacturing overhead is Rm 21.78 per month. And next, we look at the selling and administrative expense. We have selling and admin costs, we have the packaging cost, which baking paper costs Rm 7 ringgit, and we use 45 container at 1 ringgit, 1.3 ringgit each, which add up to 55.5 ringgit. In total, the selling and administrative expense are 65.5 ringgit. And period and product cost. Period cost is a cost that are not directly related to production, so it includes the material and labor, which are 112.5 for material and 45 for labor. So the total product cost is Rm 157.5 ringgit. And next is variable and fixed cost. The variable cost, which change based on how much we produce, include Rm 112.5 for material, 45 for labor, and 65.5 for selling cost. That's make a total of 223 ringgit. The fixed cost, which stay the same every month, are 20 ringgit for oven and 1.78 for the cookie mold. So the total fixed cost is 21.78. That's all.
Okay, so hi. Now I'll be presenting about selling price of our business, how we determine the cost, the selling price, and the analysis about it. So first, we calculate the monthly production cost. As we all know, production cost consists of direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. Now, we have calculated our cost of direct materials, which is 112 ringgit 50 cent. The next one is direct labor, 225 ringgit, and the last one is manufacturing overhead, 84 ringgit. Now, if we add them all, we total them, then we got 421 ringgit 50 cents. Now let's assume our monthly production volume is 45 bags of cookies, because we usually make 45 bags of cookies every month. Now as we see here, to find out how much it costs to make one bag, we divide the total cost by the number of bags. For example, we get the monthly production cost 421 ringgit 50 cent, and divide it with the number of units, how much bags of cookies that we make. So we got 421 ringgit 50 cent divide with 45 bags, and we got the cost per unit, which is 9 ringgit 37 cent. Now let's determine the selling price. So to determine the selling price, we use the cost plus pricing method, and we compute the selling price by adding on a markup with 30% markup of the cost here. That means that the profit will be 30% of the cost price. And how we total them and how we calculate them. So to find profit per unit, this is the formula: 30% divide with 100 times with the cost per unit. As we got later, the cost per unit is 9 ringgit 37 times with 30 divide 100, and we will get 2 ringgit 81 cent as our profit per unit. Now to determine the selling price is by adding the cost per unit with the profit per unit, and we got 12 ringgit 20 cent, and that is how we determine the selling price. But to find the profit margin analysis, let's consume if we sell the price here is 13 ringgit, and the profit per unit will be 13 ringgit less with 9 ringgit 37 cent, and we will get 3 ringgit 63 cent of our profit per unit. So how much is the profit margin? The profit margin we can see by dividing the 3 ringgit 63 with 13 times with 100, and then we will get here 27.92%, which is a healthy and reasonable return. So as a summary, we got the total monthly cost, which is 421 ringgit 50 cent, and each pack cost of 9 ringgit 37 to make, and we plan to sell it with 13 ringgit because we will earn 3 ringgit 63 profit per pack. So this gives me enough margin to cover all the costs and grow the business and earn more income. And I'll pass to the next.
Okay, we're moving on to the calculating break-even analysis. First and foremost, break-even analysis is a crucial tool in understanding the financial feasibility of this small business. So let us begin with the basic break-even calculation. Firstly, the break-even point in units is calculated by the formula total fixed cost divided by contribution margin per unit. So if you can see in the slide, our total fixed cost is 31.78 ringgit divided by 23.08 ringgit, which is the contribution margin per unit, and equals to 0.945 units, which approximately means 1 unit. This means that Biskut Raya Y needs to sell just 1 unit to cover all fixed costs. Secondly, we will calculate the break-even point in Ringgit Malaysia. The formula is total fixed cost divided by contribution margin ratio. So the calculation follow RM21.70 ringgit divided by 82.30%, which equals 26.46 in revenue. So let me summarize. The break-even analysis clearly shows that Biskut Raya Y only need to sell 1 unit or generate 26.40 ringgit in sales revenue to break even. This highlights the product cost efficiency and a really strong profit margin. More importantly, any sales made beyond this break-even point will contribute directly to profit. In practical context, if the owner aims to earn a steady income of 500 ringgit per month, they would need to sell 23 units smoothly. This level of sale is both achievable and sustainable, making Biskut Raya Y is a profitable part-time business with low overhead and a really strong margin.
Hi, good morning everyone. So my name is Alia, and right now we are moving to the next slide, which is the financial statement. So as you guys can see, we have two financial statements here, which is the real financial statement that we did based on the interview with our seller. And one more thing, the financial statement is the projected one where we are expecting more sales. So as you guys can see, for the comparison, in April 2025, we sold 45 containers and generating 1,260 ringgit. But in May, we are expecting to sold more, which is 68 containers, which we are boosting our sales to 1,1904 ringgit. So this is reflects 51% increasing in sales. So next one, for the variable cost, for the April one, we have variable costs for 171 and 56 ringgit. But for the projected one, we have more variable cost, which is 243 and 75 ringgit. This is because when we are increasing our sales, we need to have more variable costs, including our planta, flour, sugar, and as well as the direct labor. So even this variable cost is increasing, the economies of scale actually help us and actually help the helper to maintain the profitability. So the next one is contribution margin. So for the April, we got 1,022 and 64 ringgit, while for the May, we have 1,557 ringgit 85 cent. So this margin improved because our sales have been increasing and they have a better cost absorption from the higher sales volume. For the last one is the fixed expenses. So as you guys can see from the 1 and 2 financial statement, the fixed expenses is maintained because that is a fixed expenses. So both financial statement, we got 21 ringgit and 78 fees expenses. So for the last one, we have a net operating income, which is for April we got 1,001 ringgit and 16 cents, and for the May we got 1,536 ringgit 7 cents. So we have increased for 53% in profit, proving that scaling up our production is actually profitable and sustainable. So that's all from me. Thank you.